You likely know the specific steps required to reach your goals, yet your daily behavior frequently contradicts that knowledge. We find ourselves trapped in cycles of impulsive spending, binge eating, or hours of digital scrolling that leave us feeling hollow and exhausted. Dev is a personification of this struggle. He started with immense potential, but slowly traded his future for the immediate high of cheap dopamine. Eventually, his savings dried up and his social support evaporated, leaving him broke and isolated. At his lowest point, Dev tried the standard remedies. He downloaded productivity trackers and drafted strict financial plans, but none of these tools could touch the underlying impulse to self-sabotage. Dev's struggle suggests that the problem is not a lack of organizational tools, but a state of neurological entrapment that modern productivity culture fails to recognize. Dev eventually met a mentor who diagnosed his condition using an ancient lens. He told Dev his mind was clouded by what the Sanskrit texts call Mohini. Mohini represents the great illusion of the material world, a state where sensory cravings become so loud they effectively blind our better judgment. To escape this dopamine loop, the mentor pointed to a specific intervention mapped out thousands of years ago in the Kurma Purana. This knowledge passed from Lord Krishna to King Yudhishthira and Lord Rama to sage Vasistha before focusing on Bhadravati. Here we find Dhrishtabuddhi, youngest son of the merchant Dhanapal. Despite his father's virtue, his nature was entirely destructive. He spent his life chasing intoxication and gambling, systematically wasting the family wealth in a pattern that mirrors the modern struggle with addictive behaviors. After being expelled from his home and rejected by society, he descended into crime. Eventually, he was banished to a dense forest, living a life defined by violence and desperation. His trajectory shifted when he encountered sage Kaundinya Muni. Legend says that as water droplets from the sage's bath touched him, his deep-seated ignorance began to dissolve, allowing him to seek a way out of his suffering. The sage prescribed a 24-hour fast to be observed during the bright fortnight of the month of Vaishakha. This is Mohini Ekadashi. The purification and spiritual ascension that followed this fast provides a narrative framework for a profound biological reset. Modern science allows us to see the mechanics behind this purification. What the ancients described as the burden of sin closely aligns with the neurological reality of a saturated dopamine baseline. On the right, autophagy begins. After 24 hours without food, the body clears out damaged cellular components. Simultaneously on the left, denying sensory input forces the brain's overstimulated reward system to recalibrate. Erratic craving spikes settle into a calm baseline. This biological recalibration clears the brain fog that characterizes the state of Mohini, restoring the ability to think clearly rather than reacting purely to impulse. Mohini Ekadashi is a precisely timed intervention designed to break the physical mechanisms of self-sabotage through the vehicle of a religious fast. Returning to the modern day, Dev decided to apply the Ekadashi fast. The first 12 hours were a test of endurance. As the body withdraws from constant stimulation, the mind experiences intense anxiety and craving. By the following morning, however, the intense noise of impulse had subsided. Dev described a level of mental clarity and internal peace that he hadn't experienced since his descent began. This shift in perspective allowed Dev to stop making impulsive financial mistakes. With his dopamine baseline reset, he gained the patience to begin making the deliberate, long-term business decisions required to slowly rebuild his life and wealth. The Kurma Purana claims that even hearing the story of this day carries immense merit. It is a reminder that the tools for our liberation have been mapped out for millennia. If you are trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, consider this lunar fast as a biological reset. Share this knowledge with 5 others to help someone else break their own illusion.